Welcome to PaperThreads Cutter Vision Tutorials. In this tutorial, I'm going to show you how to do the ripped marble effect on making your card using a stamped image. You can see here that this finished product looks like I went ahead and stamped over the top of all three pieces put together, when in actuality I stamped on each piece individually and then assembled it together. And it gives you this technique or this look. The first thing you need to do is go ahead and pick a stamped image that has quite a bit of detail and kind of fades out on the sides. This is a great technique for those types of stamps where you really don't want to get into coloring the full stamp but just a portion of it. So I went ahead and chose a Sarah Kay stamp by Stamp-A-Vie, and we carry this at paperthreads.com. And what I did is I went ahead and stamped this stamp image 3 times with my Memento ink onto 3 different colored cardstock. The next thing you want to do is go ahead and take your white stamped image, and you want to go ahead and color the center portion of that stamped image using the markers of your choice. I went ahead and did that using my Copic markers, and you can see here that I just stamped in and I just kind of faded out, and I wasn't real careful with all the detail. I just kind of covered some of the basics. And now what I want to do is I want to go ahead and tear this out. And you want to be careful when you tear out the stamp, because you don't want your torn edge to show, or part of that edge to show on the front side. You actually want that to be the back side. And so when you're tearing, if you want that to be the back side, you don't want to bring this up, because you can see here that that tears away my stamped image. I want to actually tear it so that this part, the part that I'm keeping, is up, and that my torn end doesn't have that leftover paper. It just has a torn end with the image going all the way up to the corner of it. So to do that, I'm going to go in about right here, and I'm just going to start pulling up on this. And I want a little bit of a rough edge to it. Okay, and I'm going to do the same thing to this side, again pulling up here. Alright, there's my centerpiece of my ripped marble effect. The next thing I'm going to do is pick the next color that I want to do. And before I go any further, I want to go ahead and lay my stamped image right on top, and I want to overlay it until my lines all line up perfectly. And to do that, first you're going to want to put your sticky adhesive onto this piece. And I'm going to go ahead and find some points on the stamped part that I can line up. And that's probably the hardest part of this whole technique, is lining it up like I did there. But you can see that I'm lined up with the image underneath there pretty well, so it looks like I've actually just stamped all on one piece. And I want to go ahead and do my tear method again the same way as I did before. And again, when I tore it away, I made sure that the rough edge of the paper that's being torn away is not on the stamped side, but rather that the stamped image goes all the way to the edge of what's been torn away. And once again, you're going to add some adhesive. And I add a lot of adhesive for this project because I like to make sure I stick it down good and that it stays exactly in place. And finding some points in the image, you want to go ahead and line your image up again. And there you go. That is the ripped marble technique. Now I can use this as a card front just like it is, or I could add some ribbon or something to the bottom of it for the finished project. But you can see here that for the ripped marble that it looks like that I've only stamped one time across the whole image, and yet where these torn pieces are, there isn't some gapping where the stamp wouldn't have been able to touch that area because of the different layers of the paper. By doing it this way, it looks like I've stamped straight across, when in fact it's 3 separate layers lined up. Once again, thank you for watching Paper Threads Cutter Vision Tutorials. We'll see you next time. Goodbye.